movies for black girl nerds.
Thank you so much for your time. I've never seen this address this kind of gap in our life where we're leaving the teen and the college years behind and foraying into adulthood, but there's really no name for that time where you're trying to find where you fit in. Where was the beginning point for you? Because there was some wonderful elements that address this very specific time in everyone's life.
Where was that transition point for me? I feel like, honestly, well, once I left college and I got Pixar was my first job. And so that interesting period of time in which you're renting your apartment for the first time, you have your first job, and you're trying to figure out how to adult on a day-to-day basis that feels like there's no marker of success. There's like college, you just 4 years and you get grades. So there's something that you're improving. There's none of that. You're just kind of free floating. And I find that's like an interesting space where I think I was always looking for someone to be like, am I doing this right? Is this going well? Is there a checkpoint? Is there like a school counselor I can check in with? And you're just kind of on your own. So yeah.
I think that was very cool and unique, and especially the way that the characters represented these different milestones in our lives, even down to the animation style. It reminded me of not a childish looking style, but not a full blown Pixar extravaganza. How did you settle upon using that style to represent these age markers?
Well, I am a huge fan of animation, especially stylized animation, and I really am drawn to more vintage style of animation. I like the 60s and the 70s, those UPA style cartoons and New Yorker comic strips that were very stylized and graphic. And I love dot eyes, those classic old school, just two pupils. And I wanted to find a way to bring that like playful comic look into an animated film, because I haven't seen a whole lot of that or recently, and I love it. And it felt right for this story where this woman is going through this very adolescent experience where she's trying to transition to adulthood.
Our 20-something character, she is going through life and there are people who are interacting with her and talking to her, but she speaks considerably less than everyone else that's in the film. Why was that why was that intentional in the storytelling? Because it was funny seeing everyone, yeah, and but she's kind of just receiving it.
Well, in Act 2, she does speak a bit more, but in Act 1, I purposefully had to keep her as quiet as possible till we got to the bathroom, because a lovely actor, Kaylin Price, very much sounds like a little kid, which is good, but I didn't want to tip my hand too soon that she was in fact a 10-year-old in a trench coat. So I had her stay as quiet as possible until she's backing up into the bathroom. And then it's, oh my God, the cat's out of the bag. It's actually 3 kids in a trench coat. And so the rest of the time, she's just trying to blend in as much as possible. She's not trying to stand out or bump anyone as being off. And then at the end, when she has her cathartic existential crisis and tells everyone, her sister what's on her mind, and we get a chance to really dig into a bit more of her character.
That's awesome. I truly enjoyed this. Thank you so much for your time. This was very, very fun and very creative. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, both of you, for your time. I really enjoyed this because it married 2 things I really, really like: professional wrestling and the disruption of children.
Great.
That you really, really like. Beginning with you, Luis, this story is it's trying to treasure moments that are special with you and another person, but still trying to allow other people in the memory that's so private. What was the starting off point for this for you and the theme of this film?
Well, the starting off point and what I was circling when I first started was just kind of where I was at in my career, right? I'd been in animation for over 20 years, and I'd kind of reached the point where it felt like I was either going to find a way to kind of make something on my own or with another company, or I needed to figure out how to just stay in my lane and enjoy being a board artist and kind of ride that into the sunset. That's what it felt like. So I had this division in generations where I felt like the older animation person stuck in place, and like keep seeing these young, hungry animator types, coming up, and they're like making stuff happen, and it's like I felt stuck, so I felt like when I was messing with these two characters, I was like, yeah, this grandma that's kind of stuck, she has this wrestling thing that she has to do, and then they have this granddaughter who's 3 years old, and who doesn't, if you know a 3-year-old, they don't like to sit around. They just want your attention. They want to be in your life. They want to be in your face, and they want to play. And I love that as a juxtaposition, because if I put a smart aleck kid or a little ruffian boy, it's not as fun. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's fun to see a young girl. It's fun for me to see a grandma who's tough looking, but loving, who loves wrestling. It's fun for me to see a little girl who looks cute, has a mind of her own, and she just will get into the mix and just be as rough and tumble as any other kid. And I was like, these are things I want to see on screen. These are things I want to celebrate. These are characters that to me pay homage to like the beautiful people in my life, my grandparents, my mom, my sisters, my wife, my daughter, friends like Courtney. Like I want them to be proud by it. I want the characters to feel real and resonate with not just them, everybody, but I want to take that into consideration, have that respect to really do right by these characters in this moment.
Courtney, did he succeed in making you proud? What are you most proud of with this project?
Ooh, from the producer side of the table, I am in awe of the amount of things from his kind of original hope and dream of the story he wanted to tell, and how complex it was from the technical capacity, how much of that we were able to do. And we did it with a team that really kind of grew to be a family. And so the connections and the collaboration we had within that are the things that I'm the most proud of.
What was the assembling of like that continuity of the team and bringing all these talented people to bring Luis's vision to life?
Yeah, Louis and I got to meet in person, and I think we brought on our editor in person, and then everybody else for the most part we found kind of more during the pandemic, so from home, and kind of trying to reach out. The Spark program is kind of a bonus thing at Pixar, so you're really just trying to see where you fit when there are so many other things happening at Pixar. So you're trying to be creative about who is available that can work on your short. And it might not be somebody that naturally does that skill set. That might not be their normal home department. They're not normally a lighter. And so it's just that approach of always coming with an open mindset as you're trying to find people so that you can actually make the short. Was something that I presented many options to Louis.
Well, I've loved it, especially because we just got off a SummerSlam weekend, so that made it even more fun.
That's great.
I thank you so much for this. It was so warm and tender and sweet, and it was really great. Thank you again.
Thank you, Jeandra.
Take care.
Take care.
I am so tickled by this collection of episodes. I felt like my dog consulted on all of these episodes. They were so specific to my life of looking at a dog. And I must know, beginning with you, Kim, what did the original list of potential episodes look like? Because these were so good if you're a dog owner that I was blown away.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm so glad that you liked them. I'm so glad that they reached out to you as well. I have a dog. She is a girl and she's 20 pounds, and yet all of the things that Doug does, she does too. So I feel very fortunate that for those episodes. That's really, this has all been Bob's vision. And I think, Bob, you still have like another 25 ideas in your head for a few more. I feel that you're actually a better one to answer this.
Well, first of all, thanks for seeing your dog in these and your relationship with your dog, because we're really going for that. We just want people to say, that's my dog does that, and we all have dogs. And so in a way, it's a little bit like an editorial cartoon. You look at what's going on in the day and you make a cartoon about it. For us, it was looking at our dog's behaviors. And so many things came from our dogs. And, you know, my dog was afraid of fireworks. So I thought, well, why not do an episode on that? My dog gets distracted at squirrels and things. And so let's do that, especially since we had seen that in Up. And so I just thought about what's kind of fun, you know, but then as I wrote, it became clear that these had a theme, each one of them. One was territoriality, and one was being kind of a nurturing dog parent. And one was, you know, fear. How do you take a dog through fear to a place of safety, you know, in the fireworks episode? And it became clear that these were just facets about a dog's life. So love dogs.
Oh, they're incredible. Well, Kim, going over back to you, gathering all of these talented people who made these shorts come to life. What was that process? What was a key element all these people had in common, if at all, that made them, you think, a great fit for this project?
Oh, well, we were very fortunate. We had some people who worked on Up. So our production designer, Bryn Imagiri, she had worked in a leadership position in the art department on Up. So she brought over so much of the stylistic information and then adapted it for what we needed for Doug and sort of took it in even a further direction. And then we had amazing contributors who had barely worked on Up, like our animation supervisor. I think he said he did like 3 shots on it, but he still just wanted to, I would say the common theme is people just really either had worked on Up and wanted to sort of get back to it because they had such a great experience on it, or they had seen Up even before they came to the studio and they really wanted to work on it as well, just to be able to touch those characters. So we had an amazing, it's like a little bit old school, a little bit new school, and then everyone together just made just a lovely, lovely team.
Well, I thank you. I was crazy about this. Thank you so much for your time. Very, very enjoyable. Thank you again.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerds. Better shake your booties for black girl nerds.